Broadcasting live from the moon and back, this is The Coin Chat, the most trusted voice for all things cryptocurrency. Each week we dissect an important issue and cut through the noise and misinformation out there in the world of blockchain, cryptocurrency, and ICOs, capturing the facts that truly matter to you that will give you an edge in this fast-moving emerging market. The who, what, where, when, and how of what you need to know in crypto to get ahead so you don't get left behind. Now here are your co-hosts, financial and crypto experts Yuri Cataldo and Steve Good.
Hi, this is Yuri Cataldo from The Coin Chat, and I'm joined today with my fantastic guest. Please introduce yourself, Sean.
Sure, my name is Sean Weisbrot. I'm the founder of Sidekick.
Excellent. All right, so we're here in Malta right now, so tell us a bit more about Sidekick. What is it? What does it do? Why are you here?
So we're here promoting the fact that we're about to launch our private beta sometime in December. And what we do is messaging, payments, and marketplace ecosystem that's seamlessly integrated, and we have our own wallet to manage the payments.
Okay.
Instead of having our own blockchain and giving people coins that have no intrinsic value, they don't know who we are, we're instead focusing on mass adoption by supporting the coins that people already know and love.
Okay. So how many coins can your platform take right now?
Well, since we haven't launched yet, we're very limited. When we launch, we'll have Bitcoin and Litecoin. Okay. And then over time, we'll add more, most likely Dash, and we've been talking with Monero and Neo and EOS about integration. Okay. So we'll also have the community tell us which ones they want us to support, and we'll try to prioritize that based on what they want.
Okay, great. So let's take a little step back though, Sean. So what made you want to start this project?
So I lived in China for 10 years. Okay. So I got to see WeChat grow from zero to domination. And what I noticed was, having lived in China, that what happens in Asia is one company tries to dominate every part of a person's life in a local market. Mm-hmm. But if you look at Silicon Valley companies, they try to do one thing really well and dominate globally. But the problem with those local market companies like WeChat is that they can't work outside of the bounds of their market because they're stuck by the fiat currency that they're working with. So if you get rid of the fiat as the main part and you focus on cryptocurrency, then you can immediately become a global force. Sure. So you can have that element of doing something great globally, like the West, while taking elements of Asian aspects of company building to manage multiple aspects of people's lives.
And then so, I guess let's even go back even further than that. What got you first interested in the cryptocurrency space?
So I first heard about Bitcoin in 2011. I had a friend who wanted me to go in on a miner with him. At the time, I didn't really understand it. He wasn't pitching it very well, so I just poo-pooed it. Okay. In 2014, I was running local nonprofit events in China, and one of my speakers was an Israeli guy, and he was promoting Bitcoin. This is 2014. Okay. I still didn't understand it because he was going really technical, and so I just kind of glossed over it. 2015, another Israeli friend of mine was saying, hey man, Bitcoin, this thing is coming up, you need to learn about it. And he got me an opportunity to speak about it a few months later in Macau. Mm-hmm. So from the time he started talking about it until the speech, I spent every minute I could, 5-6 hours a day, learning about what is Bitcoin, what is a blockchain, what's Merkle root. I got deep into the tech, and I started learning about it from there. And then at the time, I was also about 2015, 2016, working with startups in China to raise funding, for equity funding. And then one of my friends introduced me to a blockchain startup that was looking to raise equity funding. So I was able to close a round for them with a Chinese investor, so an American team in China. And I raised for seed equity. And I used the commission to start day trading in crypto. And that got me into ICOs coming in, and so then Western ICOs heard about me and wanted me to raise in China for them when it was still legal. And then they started asking me to advise them, and then they needed exchange listings. And so I kind of went through the whole cycle of the industry, including even research and development on blockchains for different clients. And then when the market started to look down in March of 2018, I decided now is the time to start investing what I've made into building my own company that can really be a force once the market comes back. And so in March 2018, I started working on Sidekick, and now the market's going back into full force, and we're getting ready to launch, just as I assumed it would.
Okay, excellent. So your platform, are you... So I'm curious to talk more about your, let's let's say, not connection, but the work with WeChat. So WeChat is dominated in the Chinese industry, but it's also run partially by the government or invested heavily by the government.
So what the Chinese government does is, in order to be able to control local companies, they invest in them.
Okay.
So the big difference between America and China is America says, okay, you know, Silicon Valley, go, you can invest. But they're hands off in investing in local startups, so they can't help them grow.
Right.
Instead, what China does is they say, we want this thing to go. So for example, they have a Congress meeting every 5 years where they plan out what they're going to focus on in the next 5 years. In the last meeting, they said, we're going to focus on blockchain and AI.
Okay.
And so now they have unlimited funds to do whatever they need to make that happen. So you see a lot of AI startups in China coming up now, focusing on facial recognition, self-driving cars, and things like that, because the government is taking funds and investing directly into these startups and giving them applications to work with. They're giving them clients. They're saying, hey, I want you to do facial recognition for my subway or for my police station, and we're going to pay you to do it. So they're enabling adoption in different technologies way faster than America could even imagine, because they're facilitating it with their own funds. And that's something that is really dangerous to America, because they're afraid of China's growth.
Okay.
And so instead of learning from China, they're trying to stifle China, and that's not going to work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I could talk about China all day.
No, that's good.
It's very fascinating, having lived there, watching it evolve and change. It was definitely the best use of my 20s.
Yeah, that's great.
Sure.
So it's partly because you've been in America, you've been in China. How are you taking, I guess, the best of both worlds and integrating that into your platform so that you can, I guess, use the best of what's happening in both places to make your platform succeed?
Right, so I did get a lot of inspiration from WeChat, where they do have a marketplace, but it's a separate app.
Okay.
They do have messaging and payments, but their payments are in digital fiat. They can't touch crypto because the government doesn't support crypto. They support blockchain as a technology.
Okay.
So Tencent owns WeChat. Tencent can enable the digital fiat transactions using a blockchain to manage the ledger, but they can't use a crypto. They can only use digital RMB.
Okay.
So they can enable this. However, the crypto is what's stopping them from growing outside of their own market. So what I loved about WeChat was they had a lot of different functionality and different things that are integrated, but nobody else did. However, because of the nature of the background with the Chinese government, they're stuck in China. So we can take those elements and put them in different countries by focusing on the crypto part.
Okay. Great. So with your company, are you rolling out, I guess, in country specific, or will there be one platform that's global that people then from different countries can plug into?
So the way that I look at it is, it can and should be global. Right? We're mobile first, focus on cryptocurrency use, and welcome to deal with regulation in order to make it possible to grow. The interesting thing is the most engagement we've seen on social media is from the US, which also happens to have the hardest regulations to deal with. So we have to navigate, as a Singaporean company, how to make the SEC and these other agencies in the US happy enough to allow us to exist.
Right.
So we can only do our best to attract the local communities from different cryptocurrencies and different blockchain companies, and hope that we can spread that way. Focusing on specific countries, I think, is something that is much harder to do, because you have to have resources and local partners.
Oh, sure.
And so it's a lot easier to just have a kind of wide net and then see what happens and then focus from there.
Okay. So when you do launch this, your product, is it going to be, I guess, will the U.S. market be excluded right now until you work through the regulation part, or
I have no problem. I don't want to exclude anybody. If a government believes that our product is not good for them, we can't prevent them from banning us. But I don't think that they're going to have that mindset, because we're willing to talk to them about regulation.
Sure.
So the way that a lot of technology works is you build it, then they tell you to regulate, and then you work with them to make it possible.
Okay.
So, for example, Singapore, where we're incorporated, they have a new law that they've passed in June that goes into effect in January. And the way that they've set it up is, if you build something and launch it before this thing changes, we'll give you a 6 to 12 month exemption depending on what the technology and the service is. So build it, and then figure out how to make it legal. And that's how most tech works.
Wonderful. All right. So I know again that you said you're finishing up the product right now. Do you have an idea of time frame? Maybe 3 months, 6 months from now, will people be able to use it and test it and try it out?
We're shooting for a December private beta.
Okay. Oh, great.
Yeah. Right now we're in the process of squashing all the bugs.
Okay.
We spent the last 6 months building a ton of features to give people the experience that they're used to. We're not quite there yet, but we're in the process of fixing the bugs from the features we've already developed, so that when we launch, even though there's not as many features as I would like, it's still a clean enough and smooth enough experience that they'll be willing to stay on and keep using it and wait for us to develop out more.
Okay, excellent. Well, you said private beta, so is it, how does people get signed up for the private beta? Is it possible, or is it like invite only with people that you currently know already?
So right now we're open to allowing anyone to register for the beta, and it'll be first come, first serve. So let's say on the day of the private launch, we'll allow 50 to 100 people to download it.
Gotcha.
And then the next week, maybe another 10 or 15. So we'll slowly onboard people from the list in order to make sure that the system can manage it, can handle it, that, you know, there's nothing that's too major that would require us to stop and shut down. So right now we're doing a Trezor giveaway, and so we're hoping that will help us to drive a lot of traction to the product because everybody loves crypto hardware wallets.
Yeah, they do.
So
oh, great. So
Trezor's a brand name.
If our watchers and listeners would like to sign up for the beta or sign up for the Trezor giveaway, how can they do that?
Well, if they go through our website, they can sign up for the beta. If they want to go through the Trezor giveaway, they'll still get to the beta, but they'll also get entered for the Trezor giveaway.
Right.
So we'll have a pop-up on the website that they'll see, or we've got posts on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and all these websites that if they find us, they can go through Trezor that way as well.
Great. And what is your website?
Sidekickapp.io.
Sidekickapp.io. Okay.
Yes. SIDEKICKAPP.io. Sidekickapp.io.
Perfect. And then is that what your Sidekick app on LinkedIn, Telegram?
Yes. So yes, Telegram is Sidekick app.
Okay.
Facebook is Sidekick app.io.
Great. Twitter?
Twitter is Sidekick app.io.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, some people from a long time ago, they got the name Sidekick app, and they're not existing companies, but it's really hard to get these platforms to transfer ownership. So some of them we have Sidekick app, the others are IO. Sidekick app.io.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. Sean from Sidekick, thank you so much for coming and joining us in Malta. For all of our watchers and listeners, we'll put the links down in the show notes so you can click right through and join the beta and also sign up for his giveaway.
Thank you for joining us today on The Coin Chat. Join us on Telegram on t.me/The Coin Chat, where we discuss a range of topics on cryptocurrency. And visit us on patreon.com/The Coin Chat for show notes, outtakes, and previews of additional content. Or follow us on our website, which is www.thecoinchat.net. And remember to like and subscribe to us on your way out. To the moon, until next time.